living in a turbulent time, and we're going to be there for a few more years. There will be change. We are in this messy, chaotic, disruptive time so that there can be change, and the change is one of optimism and hope, especially as we look at the outer planets and human design. Hi, I'm April Goff-Brown, and welcome to the September 2025 Energy Report, where I look at different aspects of the planetary alignments and the transits for the month to see what kind of energy we might expect for ourselves as well as the global community. The big backdrop for 2025, and it'll go on through 2028, has been the way that the three outer planets have been aligning, and they are finally aligned in a nice, neat little row up in the sky. So we're looking at Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They are aligned in a way that is really consequential for our lifetime because they've never been like this before. At least not in our lifetime, but again, not for ages. And so we are in this time of upheaval and revolution, and the arrangement of these three outer planets gives us reason to be optimistic about our future. And so this optimism is coming at a time where our systems and our structures are beginning to dissolve, and they've been dissolving for a while. It just feels like they're crashing and burning right now. At least here in the U.S., that's the way a lot of us are feeling, but it is also happening globally. So know that it's going to be rocky for a while, and yet we are moving in the way that we need to build a more humanitarian way of living. And so this is a really perfect time for you to be doing your inner work, which is the whole purpose of my doing these reports anyway, is to here's the backdrop, but what do we need to be doing in the meantime? So we'll start with looking at the nodal journey. The nodes, south and north nodes, have been in the same position, the same gates, I should say, for human design for a while now. Gate 47 in the south and gate 22 for the north. This is a journey of seeking to understand your life through your personal experiences. It's the struggle to make sense out of your past experiences and perhaps making use of this reflection to how you're going to move through this time that we're going through. The node journey, I think, for September is encouraging us to continue to reflect on your personal experience. What have you learned from your experiences? Are you repeating patterns that are unsatisfactory? And if so, why is that? Be gentle with yourself while you're doing the work because it is difficult work to do as well. Saturn is spending most of September in gate 25, which is the gate of the universal love and the spirit of the self. So it's been doing a dance this year between gate 36, the challenge, a gate of challenge and growth, and then back to 25, which is a time, it's a quiet gate, more of reflecting and looking at how this can apply to greater humanity and acceptance of others in the world. So it moves back to gate 36 on the 18th of September. And so we may begin to feel overwhelmed again with things that are being faced with. And that can mean, well, yes, it's global, but also in your personal life, what is it that you're being faced with? What is the challenge that you've been given? A lesson that you need to learn that maybe you haven't learned just yet. It will bring some emotional upheaval with it as you come to really know this lesson that you need to learn. Jupiter starts the month in gate 53, the gate of beginnings, and changes to gate 62 on the 18th. So we're going to see a real change in energy come the middle of the month. So we're in this new growth cycle that's led by Saturn's upheaval. But Jupiter is here to tell us that not to fear the challenges and what new beginnings can mean for you. it may be time for you to finally say, it's time for me to enter a new cycle. I need not be afraid of it. It is time. And so you might be gently nudged through Jupiter to take on this new cycle while Saturn is telling you, and as you do this, it could be quite disruptive to yourself and to those around you. So with that, let's look at what the sun transits are for September. We are entering the month continuing to be in actually a full channel 3740. The sun is in 40, the gate in 37, and it is a time, it's a higher level energy of community and peace, interconnection. So continuing some alone time, which is gate 40, that bit of time to reflect, regroup, regenerate, and looking at this idea of how do we move into a greater cycle, if you will, a greater commitment to peace and harmony for ourselves, for those around us, and perhaps even for the larger community. Early in September, on the 4th, there is change. The sun moves to gate 64 and the earth is in gate 63. Now, these are both gates of the head center. And so you might be feeling pressure to maybe try and understand what's going on around you. But understand that clarity takes time. And so we're not going to have the answers. We're not going to understand why all this has to be happening right now. We just have to come to a place of accepting that this is what is supposed to be happening. September 9th, the sun moves to gate 47, the sun in 47, the earth in 22. So gate 47 brings us an energy of transforming confusion into clarity. So you can see there's this theme here about things needing to happen so we can come to some sort of clarity. But there may not be immediate answers. And I think that's the big lesson for here. 22 is telling us to live in the present and live in the now. And so it's necessary to go through what we're going through to have this change toward the better, again, personally and globally. So keep in mind that we might want to go back to the past. We might want to live in a nostalgic kind of mode. But if we get stuck in nostalgia, we're going to be stuck, period. And then worrying about the future doesn't help us except to put us in a place of fear, which can also get us to be stuck. So the way to be unstuck is to live in the present, accept what's going on, and make each day of your life a wonderful life. Come into a place of gratitude. Institute a gratitude practice every day. What are the blessings that you have? What can you be thankful for? And be present to accept the blessings that you have been receiving. Now, September 15th, we move back into a challenging time because the sun is moving into gate 6, which is the gate of friction, followed by the earth in 36, which is the gate of challenging growth, disruption. So we're going to feel things bigger, I think, in the middle of the month. We're being pushed to recognize you're in a place of change, okay? Stop fighting it. We're in a place of change. It's messy. Find out, look inward. What is it that you do need to change? Because the cosmos is telling you there's something there. And to know that as you bring this change about for yourself, that it can cause disruption and friction with others around you because they're going to want you to still be the same you that they've always known. And yet, our life is always about evolution and growth. That is what we're here to do on our journey. It's just a difficult time to be doing it. September 21st, the sun moves into gate 46, the earth in gate 25. And so it's a little bit calmer. So it's going to be if you have emotional authority, you may be used to the ups and downs, the waves that are going on. That's what September is. It's an emotional month with waves up and wave down. And so we're moving into a little bit of an upward wave where 46 is telling us that every experience is perfection because of what it's going to teach us, so that we can continue that growth that we're meant to do in our lifetime. Gate 25, remember, Saturn's been there. It's the gate of universal love. It's acceptance of diversity. It's acceptance of what is going around us. It is acceptance of lesson of compassion. And it may be compassion for yourself, because the more compassion you can have for yourself, the greater compassion that you can have for others. And now September 28th comes and we move into the sun in 18 and the earth in gate 17. Now this is interesting because we're ending the month with 18, the gate of I know what needs to be fixed. And gate 17, the gate of opinions. So I want to share with you what I know needs to be fixed. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to hear it unless you're invited to share it. So even though you may know what can be fixed and you want to tell everybody, keep in mind that you may need to be asked to share your wonderful insights, your wonderful thoughts about how things could be fixed, and even sharing them with yourself about what is it that you have been needing to learn this month and how do you go about doing it. So the big picture for September is we are amidst the change and we are being reminded of that a lot. It is a month to learn how to live in the now, be grateful for what you have, accept what is going on, and trust that it is necessary for us to move into the promise of change, the promise of living in a more humanitarian way, which is the promise of the change of the cycle that begins in 2027 with human design. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. And if you find that you need some help, some guidance to understand what your human design says, what are your big lessons that show up in human design, what is your purpose that shows up in human design, I invite you to reach out to my website at www.aprilgoffbrown.com and book one of my sessions with me. You can have a 60-minute or a 90-minute, and I can even record them for you if you have trouble aligning your schedule to mine. If you really wonder what is best for you, then reach out with a clarity call, and we will have a 15-20-minute conversation to see how I can best guide you through this turbulent time that we are in the midst of. I thank you for listening. Please subscribe to my channel so that you can be aware of when the October report drops, as well as my blogs that I issue twice a month. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.